Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. So, Donald Trump picked his vice president, and both of them were nominated by the Republican Party as on the ticket for their party. In this video, I will give you a very, very deep, how should I put it, view on who Mr. JD Vance, Donald Trump's pick as vice president, is. And I'm going to give you some information coming from the mainstream media, some Wikipedia pages, and why do I think Donald Trump picked, after an assassination attempt on him 2 days ago, Mr. JD Vance, a 39-year-old man. I will read you what Mr. Vance said about Trump no more than 8 years ago, or 9 years ago, 7 years ago, 6 years ago, and calling Donald Trump as America's Hitler. But now, all of a sudden, he changed his mind, and he is Trump's nominee for the presidency, for the vice presidency of the United States of America. So I will have about 3 articles. I will show you who he is married to. Mr. Vance's last name is Vance by the mother, but by the father, his name is Bowman, like Cosman, and very suspicious. Why? Because I'm just like that. That's one. Then we're going to find out his ideological influence, and that is a Bowman. All right, and that guy is a communist. So very interesting. Supposedly, Mr. Vance is a right-winger, but his ideological influence got it from a person. I will show you who that person is, who is a communist, and he is a Zelensky Stein. Coincidence. I will also make this point at the end of this video. I will tell you, maybe depends how, if I remember or if I'm in a mood, because it's very sensitive information I will give you about what a friend of mine told me about Zelensky Steins when I asked him, but why would they be in the Soviet Union? That's a communist country. Why would they want to be, they were not. They're for freedom. Why are? And he told me, because they don't care. They want to be in power regardless. Oh, yeah, oh my God, okay, that's not so. But with time, you'll see. All right, so that would be the most of this video. Then we're going to see Mr. Elon Musk is going to dive straight into Trump's campaign with a lot of, how do you call it, dozens of millions a month. And then we're going to see a weasel, Mr. Bill Ackman, who is one of those guys who want to be on the winning side. And he's trying to now he endorses Trump. Yeah, that's the guy in Harvard, the guy who sponsors Harvard. If Harvard says something that he doesn't like what's going on in Palestine, then he's going to withdraw the money. That's how capitalism works, and freedom of speech. Yeah, that's the guy who wanted those pro-Palestinian supporters, their names to be published so he can publish it further, so nobody could, not nobody, but people would say, maybe we don't hire you because of your political views. This is Mr. Ackman, the very billionaire Zelensky Stein. So let's start with the beginning, and that is from CBS News. I will show you what's important for CBS News. I will show you what's important for New York Times and others, what kind of issues they think you should be focused on when we discuss Mr. Vance. I have my own midgets in my head, as we call them. This won't stay the way I want, so I'm going to fuck with it the whole video, unless I'm going to hold it in my hand like a weasel, like I hold my cock. All right. Here is from CBS News. Trump makes appearance at RNC day 1 after being formally nominated with Vance. Donald Trump showed up at the Republican National Convention with a little band-aid over this ear right here, and he's doing this and who is doing that. Very interesting that he made a decision right after the assassination attempt. He's like making a deal. Or maybe he said, I'm going to go full force. Or maybe that was a hint for former president to pick the right person. We're going to discuss that one. Former President Donald Trump appeared alongside his newly announced running mate, Senator JD Vance of the National Republican Convention on Monday night. For the first time, Trump has been seen in public since Sunday's shocking attempt on his life. All right. Let's see. First, article after this CBS is USA Today. Remember, USA, not New York Times, USA Today. Who is JD Vance? What to know about Donald Trump's VP pick. A long time ago, I realized, just by direct experience, that whenever the media, those system operatives who shape opinions and they tell you who's good and who's bad, they tell you all you need to know about this or that, or what to know about that. That is a good start and is a good case study for you to realize how these guys spin the reality. Why? Because you're going to see what they want you to be focused on. Therefore, they're going to say what to know about Donald Trump's VP pick. And I'm going to show you what USA Today wants you to know about. And everything else, unimportant. Why? If there's no issue here, there's no issue. If nobody says anything about an issue, that means the issue doesn't exist, correct? No, it's not so. But they try to give us that illusion. They think that by closing their eyes, reality will just disappear. The world goes on, my friends. So, who is JD Vance? What to know about Donald Trump's VP pick? So, we'll have here, where is JD Vance from? Vance grew up in Jackson, Kentucky and Middletown, Ohio. He described a childhood consumed by poverty and abuse in his best-selling 2016 memoir, Hillbilly Elegy. Vance's mother struggled with drug addiction, and he spent many of his formative years with his grandmother, known to him as Mamau. Now, 2016 memoir. He was born in 1994. So that means he wrote a memoir at 32 years of age. You can say, well, maybe you lived a lot in order to write a memoir at 32. You have a vast experience with life, and you understood life, and you are a mature individual who has a mature intelligence. But you'll find out if that's the reality. Think of what you did until you were 32. Probably you graduated high school, maybe you went to the military, then you graduated college, maybe you did a master, maybe, and then you had a job. And that's it, that's your history. All right, maybe that's all you do, but if you write it in a certain way, maybe a lot of people would be interested in finding out how poverty is because they don't know who the fuck you are, but all of a sudden they're all interested in your life. Very suspicious. Why? I wrote 3 books and I know how that thing works. Things are open for you, things are put forward. Why? This Vance, Mr. Bauman, he had no experience, political experience, before he got nominated to run for a Senate seat in Ohio. That reminds me of Obama, the community organizer who had no political experience. He's got to be the nominee. He was a senator of Illinois, one of the 2 of Illinois, and then he got to be the president twice. Hey, American electorate is very sophisticated, I've been told. And my comeback was, yeah, and they elected Obama twice, right? Very, very sophisticated. And George W. Bush twice, all right? And Bill Clinton twice. And I can go on and on with these people that should not have been, as I said, duck catchers probably in a Montana village. So let's see. So his book about his hardship as a child got to be a bestseller. Now, how many poor people are in the United States of America? I would say about 40%. 40% of 330 million, about. So 40% of that, my friends, are having a hard time. That's about what? 120 million people, right? Let's say 40% of 330, or about 300. So my friends, if you have that, if you have this many people, why would people be so interested in one person's perspective that you don't know anything about him? He's 32, you don't know shit about this guy. All right? I'm not bashing him, I'm just saying what experience can you have by then, and I'm going to prove you he didn't have much, and he changed his tune on Trump. He called Trump at one point America's Hitler, end quote. And then he changed his tune and now he's the vice president of Trump. But he wrote the memoir before he said that, or about that time. So that was his understanding of Donald Trump at that time. So would you read someone's book? Wait, if he sincerely changed his opinion, because, that's how we do. If we are intellectually honest, then this is what we think about an issue. And then we say, this is how much we think, it's like this. But then you get more information and you enhance your knowledge and say, it's not really like that, it's a little bit like this. And you get more information like this and say, actually it's not like that, it's like here. And then you get more and you get here. That is the courage to change your assessment of things based on the knowledge you have. That's normal and it's sincere to have the courage to say, like he said, I made a mistake. I made a mistake. But my point is, he wrote a memoir at 32, and he made a lot of claims at 32 that are idiotic. But he wrote a memoir who became a best-selling. If you don't understand what I'm saying, I don't know how simpler to explain that. It's not his fault. I'm happy he succeeded. 100%. 100%. We'll see what he's going to do, not what he said he's going to do. That helps sometimes, right? Did JD Vance serve in the military? Yes. He joined the Marine Corps after high school and served as a public affairs Marine in Iraq. You know what public affairs Marine is? All right, go and see. Go and check it out. Good for him. Is he married? Yeah, he's married with Miss, what's her name? Usha Vance. She is the daughter of Indian immigrants, Indian from India. The same guys that immigrated, part of them, about 15,000 years ago, they say. Over there, Bering Strait, they were East Asians, combination between Indians and Chinese, that kind of genes, right? From, it's not me, DNA, all right? And so she's one of them. But hey, what's going on? We have Rishi Sunak, was Indian. He was the Prime Minister of Great Britain, not of India. And then we have Kamala Harris, half Indian, but Kamala Harris is, right? And we have that. We have Vivek Ramaswamy, who I like a lot. But hey, what's going on here? They're going to create competition to the Zelensky Steins and the positions of power, and that's not good for them. It's good for the Indians and for all of us. Competition is always good. All right? But what's going to happen? We find out. Now, where did they meet? They met at Yale University, these guys, in 2013, and they got married. Good for them. I'm happy to have 3 kids. One of them is Vivek, but not Ramaswamy. So 3 kids. Now, let me tell you a side information on people who receive either scholarships from their countries, or some families immigrate and they come and so on, and they are like this. Some of them work in a certain kind of how do you call it, agencies. All right, just so you know, when you have someone from Romania in the communist time, let's say, go and be educated somewhere in the West and then come back in Romania, usually when he comes back in Romania, he's already working for the other side. Or he is going to be placed over there and try to make kids with someone and get hired in like a senator or a politician, and then her or his doors will be try to be opened and pushed and so on. Remember, he's 39. What experience he has? He's been a senator since 2022 or something. All right, wait, I'm not denying his abilities. I'm just asking questions, and I'm skeptical. Why? Because I've been around the block a few times. That's all. All right, he says here. Okay, he says Vance and his family live in the East Walnut Hills neighborhood in Cincinnati. The senator also bought a $1.5 million home in Alexandria, Virginia last year. $1.5 million. All right, how long has he been in politics? Vance was first elected to the U.S. Senate in 2022 after defeating former Democratic Representative Tim Ryan for an open seat in Ohio. So from an unknown person, he beats a blue state, Ohio, right? Or at least it's contested. Beats him over there, and he becomes, from the Democrat, he beats him, and the Republican, an unknown person. In 2022, he was 36, 37? Good for him. First time when I heard Mr. Vance and I saw him and I liked him was when I saw him at Tucker Carlson, one of his shows on Fox, when he had that show. If you remember, that was the first time Tucker Carlson was promoting Vance's campaign in Ohio. And Trump backed him and endorsed him, and Mr. Vance Bauman, that's his name, won. Good for him. Now, what is the history between Vance and Trump? Vance openly criticized Trump in 2016. In 2016, he also wrote the book, The Memoir. So you write a memoir, and you're very but you criticize Trump, and you say, to explain the former president's popularity with the white rural voters, he previously suggested Trump could be, and I'm quoting, America's Hitler. That's what Vance said about about Trump. Called him noxious and compared him to an opioid. But he wrote a memoir, best-selling. But Vance changed his tune as he geared up for the 2022 Senate run, deleting controversial tweets and crediting Trump for the work he did in office. Maybe he's changed his mind. He saw, hey, this guy did this, did this. Okay, man, I like the guy. Sorry, I made a mistake. That's good, but you wrote a book. Anyway, he secured Trump's endorsement in a chaotic Republican Senate primary and is now one of the former president's most loyal allies. Now let me give you this. It says deleting controversial tweets and crediting Trump. All right, I'm going to show you this. They found the tweets. CNN found some tweets. How did you find tweets? I want you to go over there and check my deleted tweets. How do you find them? You make contact with FBI, NSA, CIA. That's what you find my tweets. And if they want to give it to you, they were going to give it to you. Why? Because those big servers in New Mexico and Arizona, they work full time. So you can ask them, they will give you access and you have it. They will give you what you ask for. And you're going to hear me talking to my mom, talking with my, I don't know, whomever, whatever, whenever. Or my text, my messages. That's how you find out someone, oh, we found, Joy Reid's text, 15 years ago, whatever. How did you find that race lady text? Someone leaked them. From where exactly? In their pants? Do you think those things were just hidden by a neighbor? How did you get that? Oh yeah, the unknown Emil, I have his tweets saved. I took a screenshot of his tweets 15 years ago when he was a nobody. Someone else records everybody's tweets and all that and stores it. When they need it, they will get it and they will leak it. And they find it. CNN found it. That's the way it works. Don't believe me? Ask Mr. Snowden, all right? Edward Snowden, living in Russia, Russian citizen right now. Ask him or listen to one or two of his. That's a beginning. That's a start for you. Find out how they just pull back some things that you said sometimes or you tweeted or something like this. Okay, what are Vance's policy positions? All right, and he says Vance personifies what's known as a new right, a populist conservatism that rejects many traditional Republican views. That's a new party that Trump's probably is going to have. That's going to be his party. He supports tariffs on trade and because we like capitalism, and opposes U.S. intervention in foreign conflicts, particularly the war between Russia and Ukraine. He's also, when he gets in office, the guys in the Pentagon will tell him and Trump again how things are ran, and they're going to send them in their rooms to clean up their little poo-poo over there. He's also spoken out against potential cuts to Social Security. All right, it says about, that's about it. And he says here, Vance introduced legislation. At the same time, many of his other bills reflect conservative views. For example, Vance introduced legislation to ban gender-affirming care for minors. I agree with that. And a bill to eliminate diversity programs in federal government. I also agree with that. Diversity, inclusion, equity, there's garbage. And diversity hires should not exist. Look what happened over there if you want to see the videos with those 4 ladies. Secret Service trying to defend Trump around his car. Remember, they're now famous or infamous. She's trying to holster her pistol and she can't. She's too fat and too dumb. But supposedly that defended Trump. My God, I'd rather keep my gun with me than have her defend me. And it says the first one after this, and I'm going to show you. So what are his political position? Now I'm going to scroll down when this guy is going to go dark on me, right? What's that, the first one? The first position that we need to know, and it's the last one, by the way, because under this, the article ends right there. So that it's all you need to know. Remember, that's how it was. What is his stand on abortion? So that is the most important thing. No, the most important thing is this: freedom of speech. That's the first one, all right? And liberties is true. Abortion is not listed in the Constitution, so regarding those kind of things, I understand it's important. He says that the government should find ways to encourage people to have children, is his opinion. Correct. I agree with that. If you have to have a nation, you have to have a positive fertility rate, right? More than 2.1 per family, right? If you want to grow. Otherwise, they will make sure that life is so shitty, you will not make more children because you can't afford having them, but it's okay. They will complete with other kind of people, bring it in, because they will say you otherwise die. And who's going to be guilty? The guys who produce the economic and the social situation that makes you not having children. Therefore, I agree with the Russians. I agree with Hungarians, I agree with other programs in the 30s, 1930s that is, when they helped families with money if you have children, if you do that. No, in America they do. Have children, and once you have children, when you're 18, how about you go to the military, we're going to give you this money to go and be a hero and fight for those interests, all right, with our military. And then after that, maybe you go and get to college and we're going to tax the shit out of you, and you're not going to have children. Why? Because having children, you can't afford giving them the education, and maybe you can't afford giving them the life that you like. Therefore, we should import people so they can work jobs that we don't want to work. How in the hell we did it? Let's take the Americans. How in the hell, there are other countries on this planet without incomers. How did you guys do it without us? How? No. The environment was in such a way designed by the guys in charge of us that it's needed data. No, it's not needed. Nothing is needed. You need to think and you need to want to have determination. So again, here's where stands an abortion. All right, next article. Next article comes from Yahoo News. And again, JD Vance, what to know about Trump's pick for vice president. Again, what to know. Always, that's a good beginning. As I can case study, and then you doing your own research. We find this, we find that. Who is he? He is 39-year-old. He talks about his memoir publishing, and then a movie was made in 2020 about that. Imagine that. How many, as I said, how many poor people are in this country? Remember, I think it was like 60% of Americans, they can't get $40 cash for an emergency. 60%. Does that tell you wealth in America or poverty? Now, if you look at that, 40% of 330 million is about 130 million people, I would say, in poverty. And that's the families, if you talk about it. How many? All right, now he did high school. Again, what's Vance's history with Trump? And again, he said that he never liked Trump, he wrote in a New York Times op-ed, and that Trump was, and I'm quoting, unfit for our nation's highest office. In an Atlantic op-ed, described Trump as, and I'm quoting, cultural heroin, said he couldn't stomach Trump, end quote, in an interview with NPR, and posted multiple tweets since deleted but uncovered by CNN. How did they uncover it? They call the right people and they say, oh, let me click, here they are, what do you want, which one? They give you access, that's easier. That described Trump as reprehensible and confirmed Vance did not vote for him in 2016 election. So in 2016, after he wrote that intelligent memoir, he had this kind of opinions of a man. So how wrong can you be, and you think you can be only with that one? You wrote a memoir. Well, you say memoir, Emily, is about, your life. It's through your lens. You're gonna blame everybody for your misgivings if you have a certain kind of mindset, like they do. Oh, I'm in poverty because of this man, or that man, or this man, or that man. And then you're gonna live in poverty. Why? Mentality, attitude, my friends, attitude. When I came to the United States of America, I came with nothing, but an attitude, a way of seeing the world and a desire. And that is, give me the fucking opportunity, I will work like crazy. That's exactly what I did. Successful? Very much. Thank you very much. Now, let's move on. Here, some of the most critical comments about Trump came from leaked Facebook messages. Leaked. Who leaked those messages? His friends, right? Between Vance and his former roommate, in which Vance said Trump might be, and I'm quoting, America's Hitler. So, all right, let's move on. Who is Usha Vance? His wife, Indian, as I said. What his voting record and stance on the issue? And he said that he is 100% pro-life and argued against rape and incest exceptions for abortion law. Incest and rape, that should be from the get-go. You want abortion, you're gonna have it. We pay for it. I pay for it. But I want to make sure the perpetrator's balls are ding-a-linging, okay, in the air for all us to see. Or throw it to the dogs. Which one works better? Not dogs. We're gonna hurt the dogs. All right. Now here, what are his voting record? The first one is abortion. The second one is climate change, and then the one is the voting, the election denial, right here. These are the issues that these guys considered that we should know about his voting records. Not about freedoms, not about Facebook, if they are the gatekeepers of truth, or YouTube and others. No, that's unimportant. What's important is abortion, all right, climate change, because he denies, and I'm with that, and election results. And then he says something about, has asserted that he believes Trump won the 2020 presidential election, and he said that if I were Pence, Mike Pence, I wouldn't have, certified the election. Well, I don't like things like this. If I were that, I have done that. I would help you if you told me, I would have helped you. No, okay, I need your money right now and your help right now. Give it to me. That's what happens. I don't like people who talk in future images or past images. Talk in real life. I do this right now for you. Not, oh man, you solved that problem, I would have helped you. It's too late. Why? You will never be gonna be asked to help that, because that's gone. But somehow you mark it as you're a good person because I told you I would have helped you. That means zero. Words mean shit in this kind of situation. And the other one, well, I will help you if you were in that situation. And when the situation comes, I'm not gonna freaking answer the phone call. If I answer, it's gonna be, yes, hello, I can hear you, where are you going? Hello, blah, 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 blah. That's it. No, I don't like that. Be as you are. You can say, well, be certain I'll be there, but you always be consistent. You said it, be a man of your word. And it says here, next is immigration, all right, and then LGBTQ rights, military aid. It says, Vance opposed a bill protecting gay and interracial marriage rights. Are they in the Constitution? I'm not denying those people's ability to do whatever the freak they want in a bedroom or whatever, but I think it should be a certain kind of limitation like with everything else. And they try, we want to be the same. That's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. Me entering with my member a vagina is not the same thing. Female, okay, a real vagina is not the same thing as me doing that, going into the hole of another man. I mean, I have no problem with you being as kinky as you want as adults, consenting adults. I have no problem with that whatsoever. But don't tell me it's the same thing, because it ain't. It ain't. Or is not. How you want me to say it? Doesn't really matter. All right, so these are the issues this article brings us that we need to know. Abortion, the first one, like the other one. Climate change, and he said that does not believe climate change exists, and he called electric vehicle production a scam. I think it's a scam, and I will tell you why. All right, if the government tells you that if you buy this product, I will give you $7,200 in tax rebates, but if you buy this one, I don't have another. Right. So you buy, let's make them the same kind of. This and that. This is electric car. This is not electric car. If you buy the electric car, says the government, the consumer, who is capitalism, remember, fair capitalism. If you buy this one, I'm going to give you from everybody's money a tax reduction of $7,200, like they do. But if you buy the combustion engine right here, all right, I'm not going to give you anything. So which one do you think people will buy? This one, because for some of them it's financially more, advantageous. So then after the year after, the government gives you the incentives with a $7,200 from everybody else, not from the government, from everybody else's taxes. They raise the taxes for these guys as well. So these guys are paying for that, actually, including these guys who buy that, all right? Now the government gives you shit. Right? This is unfair competition between the battery-owned and battery-operated and combustion engines. So where's the fair competition, capitalist America? Where is it? And then at the end of the year, when these guys are going to be bought more than these guys, these idiots will make a study and say, hey, Americans believe in climate change. Why? Because they got it finally. The baboons got it. They bought more, environmental, whatever they say, governmental, environmental, sensitive or whatever product. No, it's not that. Your government's invisible hand, push this up with $7,200 in incentives against this guy. That's exactly what they do. And at the end of the year, they say, hey, the production rose in the battery-owned. The Americans got it. See, that's evidence people got it. They're more with us. No, you stuck your finger in your nose. and then in your mouth. All right, let's move on. Next one, JD Vance. This guy, as I said, he is right here. All I'm going to show you here is at the bottom of the, you can find it on Wikipedia. It says the dark enlightenment and a neo-reactionary thought. And I said, what was this? And I saw a guy on the right, and I said, I know you. I know you. When I see your face, I don't forget it. Right there, that guy over there. So that guy, for you, is, it says the political theorist Curtis Yarvin. All right, Yarvin. And I said, Yarvin. It says here, he is a close friend with one of its leading figures of this establishment. And that gets me to the story. I don't know if I'm going to tell you, but I told you already. Is Curtis Yarvin, whose views has been described as major political and ideological influence. Vance has started his views. I think Curtis Yarvin's monarchy's ideas are bonkers, but you know what? He's absolutely on to something real with his concept of the cathedral, not the temple. All right, not the temple, the cathedral, and that the nature of the fight in front of us is such that we can't afford to be over prissy about our allies. So let's see who this guy is. Yarvin. Yarvin is, I always like to go on, and I'm going to show you, because I'm not talking shit here. Curtis Yarvin, I know it's very wide because I want to make it so it doesn't show shit from behind. And I can tell you this, he's born in 1973, and we find out that early life and education, Curtis Guy Yarvin was born in 1973 to an educated, liberal, secular family, they say it. His grandparents on his father's side were Jewish Americans and communists. But this is someone that Mr. Vance likes. It's okay, you can like, something like that. There's nothing wrong with that. But remember, that guy, all right, communist influence. So this is the question that a friend of mine answered when I asked him to talk about this Zelensky Steins many years back, maybe at least 15 years, maybe more than 15, 17, 18 years ago. And we had a conversation, and I said, why then, they are here, but they are over there in Soviet Union? Why were they in the positions of power? Remember Trotsky, what's his name? Beria was, what's his name? Not Beria, but Yokoda, Kaganovich, all those guys. Stalin was not Zelensky Stein, obviously, but anyway, how come they don't like freedom? And I mean, why could they be in charge of and commit so many things in the government that is so oppressive of the Soviet Union? And he said, well, they don't care. All they care is power to be in charge. Regardless of they're not ideologues with, I want the capitalism, free speech. No, I can be in charge of the communist Soviet Union if I am in charge. It doesn't matter. It's unimportant to them, he said. It's what's important. It is they are in charge. And I was like, what the hell? But with time, and you can call it self-fulfillment prophecy. No, you look, and we know they are communists. Why? Most of them, because when it's capitalism, they are the communists right here. Why? If they're not in power, once they get in power, they hate everybody else. It's okay, that's fine. Now, if they're communists, they're gonna hate the capitalists, and the capitalism will be them if they are not in power. Once they're in power, anything else doesn't matter anymore. It's all good. We're good. We are in heaven. We met Yahweh. All right. Let's go to the last two articles here. From Fortune, Elon Musk is donating $45 million monthly to Trump supporting PAC. So Elon Musk gets into the politics like that. I said this many times before. I'm waiting for these billionaires to really get involved. But hey, they don't have the guns. So I think they could be arrested on certain charges, or maybe just disappear, or maybe just, Patriot Act allows a lot of things. The Tesla CEO, Elon Musk, donated $45 million to a super political action committee, PAC, dedicated to re-electing former President Donald Trump. Yesterday or the day before, he endorsed Donald Trump after the assassination attempt. Very interesting. And the last article, and we're going to go and finish with a conclusion on Mr. Vance. Billionaire Bill Ackman endorses Trump. This guy. This is the same guy that I told you they don't care as long as they are in power. Now he sees Trump might be in power, so he endorses Trump. We don't need your endorsement. Take your money, take it to Israel, and then don't give any more money to Harvard, because he gives the money to Harvard and then he wants Harvard to do shit for him. Like, for instance, public the names of the pro-Palestinian movement and so on that signed some papers. No, give me the names so I can promote them with my friends in the media, so people cannot hire you. Why? Because they're going to know your political views, and therefore you should be starving. That's Mr. Ackman for you. Don't believe me? And he wants that. You be fired. You be fired. If she's not fired, if he's not fired, then I will pull out my support for Yale. Get out. Bye. See you never. Don't let the door kick you in the buttocks when you get out. Do you think Americans without you could not make it? They think so. Actually, it's a factory. Harvard, it's a factory for Mr. Ackman-Steins. Look how many. And no, we're not overrepresented. Why? Because they identify as that in Harvard. But when they're talking about something else, no, we are a specific community. Remember. Anyway, so let's go to Vance. It's very strange that Trump nominated him. You can say, well, he had to, at the convention, he had to. Okay, but he had three options at least at hand that I remember, and he decided on this guy right here, who had a fantastic, how do you call it, political ascendance. In 2020, he was a nobody in politics, and he is now in 2024 going to be probably the vice president. Isn't that fantastic? Well, that sounds like a good story, and the key word is story. And remember, this guy changed his tune, and he's young. Now, I wished other leaders on this planet would have their second tier ready in case they get assassinated or they just kick the bucket and so on while they're with a lady of the night or something. And I'm talking about Putin, I'm talking about others who, do you have anybody else to come? Now, if Trump dies and Vance is the way I perceive him to be so far, and he is, let's say, the real deal, then that's fantastic. He's going to be over there, and that's it. But I'm waiting. I want to see evidence, not blah, 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 blah. So good luck to Trump, Cesar, and good luck to Vance/Bauman. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.